Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the GM. It is your guy Boulanger, and man, we just in here talking ball, which which is all we do, right? It's all we do here is talk ball, and so I want to say welcome, man, to everybody in the chat. Whether you catch this live or whether you catch this on the record, either way, man, you are appreciated. And as you guys may have noticed in the thumbnail, I'm talking about the Ravens changing course, which I think is a much needed endeavor, right? The Baltimore Ravens are a team who kind of keep it close to how they've always done things, defensive minded, run game, and invest a little bit in the offense, but invest heavy in the defense. And in truth, I think this draft will be more of the same. I think this will be a defensive heavy draft for the most part. I think of 11 picks. I think we trade up and down, and I think we come out with a probably about 8 or 9 picks. I do not think we take all 11 guys back to Baltimore because we have to have some room for some UDFA stuff. But crazier things have happened. If we come back to the crib with 11 picks, then hey, we'll welcome all 11 picks, and the best man is the best man. But what I want to get into today, man, is a little bit of a conversation about the Ravens changing course, right? In a video 2 times ago, we talked about how I thought that the Baltimore Ravens had fell into a period of redundancy, just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over. And some people would call that insanity, but insanity is a little something different because insanity is wanting a different result, but doing the same thing over and over and over. In fact, I believe that the Baltimore Ravens like exactly what they do, and I believe they like the results that they get. As long as they are a perennial playoff team, as long as they are talked about as one of the top contenders for the Super Bowl, and as long as they can put butts in the seats, they're straight. That's what I believe. And no problem. I don't have a problem with that, right? Because ultimately it's a business. And if I owned a team, more importantly than building a contender, I'm trying to get bread, right? Let's just let's just tell the truth. Uh Malachi B, what's going on? I see you tapping in just a little bit ago. And so that's the name of the game is to get bread. But while we're getting bread, if we're going to market to the fan base, as we just saw Steve Bisciotti say he wants to win now, if we're marketing that to the fan base, then I think we have to change course. We cannot get caught and still do the same thing over and over and over. Of course, GM's not changing, head coach is not changing. They're locked in and locked up for several seasons to come. Quarterback's not changing, nor would I advocate for that. In fact, just heard some rumors. I'm sure you guys have that there could be a potential. There could be a potential Lamar Jackson extension coming. So we expect that. I don't know. Maybe it gets here before the draft. Last time Lamar Jackson was waiting on a new contract. It came draft night. So maybe he gets a new deal draft night. But if he doesn't, it is what it is. He's still under contract, and we still um, have the potential to compete. And and so, man, what is the change then, Belanger? If GM ain't changing, head coach ain't changing, quarterback ain't changing, the approach to the draft must change, and it must change this year. In fact, I think it will change. I think we're going to see the Baltimore Ravens do something a little bit different. And I have a case that I'm going to present to you guys. You guys know anytime I bring an opinion or a thought, I'm going to back it up with a little bit of evidence because I just don't want to be on her talking ball with no credibility. And so, what I think we need to do in this draft is not go edge in the first round. We don't need to go safety in the first round. We do not need to go corner in the first round. You see, we need to go offensive line in the first round. More specifically, we need to go with one of the top end offensive linemen who fall. If Kelvin Banks fall to 27, I've seen some projections. Fine. If Kevin Banks don't fall and Greg Zabal is there, let's take him. If Tyler Booker is there. I don't think Tyler Booker is going to be there, but if he's there, let's get him. I'm specifically speaking to let's upgrade the interior of our offensive line. Listen, this sounds crazy, right? Let's say you guys bought a house, right? And let's say uh every you go inside, floor plan laid out real nice, 4 bedroom, 2.5 baths, office, granite and marble and hardwood floors throughout. Man, it's nice, right? Laid out. But you go outside the house and there ain't no bricks or no siding. How many of you sign up for that house? And it's laid out on the inside. It's bad. But you go outside, there ain't no bricks and no siding. See, it won't take but a little bit of time for that house to start deteriorating. Why? You don't have any protection, right? Think about it. No protection. So if we have the best player in the league, if we have a top two quarterback in the league, if we have a QB who is probably going to get a contract extension between 5 and 6 years, over $300 million, over $250 million guaranteed, then wouldn't it make sense to pay more attention on how to keep him healthy than trying to figure out how to get an edge rusher, a safety, or a cornerback? Think about it. Think about it. See, every mock draft you've been seeing, whether it was Phil Yates, whether it's Mel Kiper, or that other dude, I can't remember his name right now. No disrespect, just can't remember his name. Even all of the Raven, or most of the Ravens content creators, you've been seeing edge rushers, safeties, and corners. Or in some aspects, you've been seeing interior defensive linemen. But you rarely ever see an interior offensive lineman. And then what they say about getting a tackle is it's no point in wasting a pick on a tackle because you have Ronnie Stanley and you also have what's that other guy? Roger Rosengarten, right? But not to mention you don't have any backup left tackles or backup right tackles. Not to mention your left guard, your starting one. He wasn't a starter last year. That was Patrick McCarry because Voorhees couldn't get his spot back. And not to mention that people been, kind of off and on with Daniel Falele. Now I'm gonna ride with him. I'm gonna ride with Falele, right? A 6'8" dude, 380 pounds. If he can get his weight down and get a little more bend, a little more mobility, just a little more mobility, I don't care if he starts. I mean, heck, he must have did something good. He almost made the Pro Bowl last year. I understand that he was again, he was hit or miss on some things. He missed some blocks. He was standing still. He looked lost at times, but he did get better as the season went on. And I'm gonna take a 19 game starter over a rookie plug and play guy. But at that left guard position, I'll take a top end guy plug and play. Well, Belanger, why wouldn't you take a plug and play guy at edge? Ain't no plug and play guys at edge when you get down to pick 27. They won't be available. Anybody who's projected as an edge down that low is going to be a project kind of a player. James Pierce Jr. is a project. Good player, but a project. Donovan Izaraku, who was projected to be in the bottom of the first about a month ago, he's now projected to go top 20. So all those guys are going to be projects. And if your top two corners are gone, that's what's that guy's name? Will Johnson or Jade Barron. Then no corner is worth number 27. You can get a corner with a very similar skill set in the second round or the third round. See, I'm not saying corner ain't important. I'm not saying safety ain't important. I'm not saying that edge isn't important, but it's not more important than solidifying your interior offensive line. That's how you get beat when you get to the playoffs. When you can get that immediate pressure right in the quarterback's face, you're in trouble. Immediate pressure causes that quarterback to move out of that pocket faster than he wants to. It causes him to move. It causes him to move out of the pocket and sometimes run into a sack, which we've seen happen in Baltimore. And we need to secure that interior. Listen, the reason why we must secure the offensive line, and I'm talking about guard and tackle, is because Ronnie Stanley does have an injury history. We need some depth right behind him. We need somebody who could step in with, with the level of talent who could hold it down for a little while if need be. Right? We need talent at interior offensive line. Right? Let's just tell the truth. We seen times last year where the run game wasn't going strong with Derrick Henry. Well, why was that? Because there was no movement in that interior. And when you get no movement in that interior, it doesn't matter if you got Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, or whoever else. Your run game is going to stall out. And we've seen times last year where the run game did not get going. We saw that in the Buffalo Bills playoff game. The run game did not get going until the second half. And if we're going to go win a chip, in order for us to get over the hump for real, we got to build a strong offensive line with a focus on the interior because it's the interior that makes everything work. We've seen on countless opportunities where the offensive line has let us down. It has. And so I think that we need to go offensive line in this draft at least, you're going to think I'm crazy, at least 4 times. What? Dude, you crazy. I'm not. I'm not. At least 4 times. We need a high end guard. Okay. We need a high end backup at tackle or a swing tackle, if you will. We need another guard piece. Well, we got Ben Cleveland. And don't bring me Ben Cleveland. Somebody brought me Ben Cleveland last time I had a conversation about the offensive line. Don't bring me Ben Cleveland. Ben Cleveland is going to be suspended at some point this year, so you cannot count on Ben Cleveland. Ben Cleveland has been a part of the Baltimore Ravens since I believe 2020 when he was picked in the third round. You tell me what Ben Cleveland has done. I'm not banging on the guy. I hope he gets well. Hope his life is pulled all the way together. He's restored. He's healed. He's healthy. But don't bring me Ben Cleveland as any kind of security for the interior offensive line. Don't bring me that. And don't bring me Voorhees. I understand this is the second year coming off his injury, so he should look better than he did last year. Don't bring me that. What he should do and what he did do is two different things. And what he will do, we won't know until he's on the field. So don't bring me that either. But just in case you have a little bit of doubt that maybe the offensive line is more important than we made it out to be, let's take a look at this.
In trouble. Down he goes. Starts up. Then he goes back as if he's going to go into coverage. And by doing that, then he's able. Brady in trouble again. Justin Tuck. Tuck, he's in here in the middle. He does a great job. They overload the side with OC human urine checks. But because there was no inside push, he could step up and deliver the ball. 20 seconds left in the half, and the ball's knocked loose. As Tuck knocked it out, each team has turned it over once. But what a great job by Justin Tuck. They've just not been able to control him. No matter where they put him, he's been able to take it back. 3rd down and 7. Good jump off the line by Strahan, who gets the sack. Well, he's got such quickness coming off the edge. You can tell working on Nick Kazzer, and there was just no contest. Brady goes to think about Steve Smith, Ahmad Bradshaw, now Jay Alford. Brady, a lot of time before he gets hit.
Now, before we look at the next Super Bowl that I want to show you guys, do any of you remember Super Bowl 45? Does anybody remember how the Patriots in that season had gone 16-0, won both the playoff games, which means they went 18-0. Now they show up in the playoffs trying to complete an undefeated season. That season, the Patriots had a record-breaking offense. Tom Brady and Randy Moss went crazy, set all kind of records, but they showed up in the playoffs and gave up 5 sacks and a ton more Harrys. I wonder would the offensive line have been more important? I wonder would the offensive line have been more important than a first round edge rusher or a cornerback or an interior defensive lineman? I wonder. Now, I know you can jump to the other side of the argument and say, well, you see what the Giants did with the elite defensive line, an elite front seven. Yeah, they had an elite front seven. We do not. That's the difference. And there is not going to be a plug and play edge rusher at 27. There is not going to be a guy who's going to have the Patrick Surtain impact or the Sauce Gardner impact or the Jalen Ramsey impact. And not at 27, it won't be. I don't care who it is. But just in case that first Super Bowl series of clips where the New York Giants stunted the um, the New England Patriots, let's check out another Super Bowl, right? Which also features the one and only Tom Brady Super Bowl 52 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Whoa. Brady gets hit, the ball is out, and Philadelphia has it. Derek Barnett comes away with it. Brandon Graham was one of the guys who got in there. And it's New England's only turnover of the game.
Ah, and it was New England's only turnover of the game. That was the Super Bowl that Tom Brady threw for over 500 yards. But what he needed was not another yard. What he needed was his offensive line to hold up in crunch time. That's what he needed. That's what Tom Brady needed. He needed somebody to block Brandon Graham and to block Derek Barnett. You see, it was in crunch time that that sack happened. You see, the point that I'm making is that you can have the greatest of quarterbacks. They can run and throw and do everything that you need him to do. But if that offensive line doesn't consistently play up to par, the Super Bowl may be out of reach. You see, the idea behind this whole conversation and changing the way we do the draft is let's build something solid in front of Lamar Jackson. Please hear me. If the Ravens are not going to build a legitimate offensive line with some high-end talent to protect their franchise quarterback, then they shouldn't sign him. I'm serious. I'm serious. They should not sign him because we've seen too many times where the offensive line doesn't show up in crunch time. I wish I had a got those videos to be able to put on here. I meant to clip them up and bring them to you guys so I can show you what I'm talking about. If I have a chance, I may go get the matter of fact. Hold on, let me see if I can do this really quick. Give me a second. Let me take something down. Let me jump over here. Let me see if I can add this to my um to my clips. Hold on one sec. Give me one second. I'm gonna see if I can bring you a new clip which will show you even more what I'm talking about. Give me one second. Okay, let me go over here. I got this added, and I'm gonna add one more after I show you this. All right. And so here's the thing, guys. Think about it. The Baltimore Ravens should have known what Lamar Jackson was, did know what Lamar Jackson was after the 2019 season. Okay. And if we can tell another truth, Lamar Jackson has made our offensive line look better than what it has been. They've been rated better than what they've really played simply because Lamar Jackson evades sacks that an average quarterback who doesn't have the similar skill set would have given up. That's just the truth. You guys know it, and I know it. See, what has happened is we've fallen in love with Action Jackson when sometimes we just need him to be Lamar Jackson. See, Lamar Jackson is enough. Lamar Jackson is the quarterback who can just drop back into in the pocket and put the ball where it needs to be. Lamar Jackson is the same guy who can step up in the pocket and deliver the ball. Lamar Jackson is the same guy who can move the pocket when necessary. But what we're seeing is we're seeing a greater need for action Jackson, which means he has to carry too much of a load because the offensive line is suspect. You guys know, just like I know, we've seen several times where it looked as if Lamar Jackson didn't trust the guys who were in front of him. And so he felt pressure that maybe hadn't even got there yet. But let me show you another guy, right? Remember, the theme of this conversation is changing the way we do the draft and focusing on the offensive line in this particular draft early and often. So let me show you another series of clips that will even further validate the importance of an offensive line. Let's go right here.
Patrick Mahomes got to do some crazy special stuff. On 3rd and 8. Look at that throw, and it's dropped by Kelsey. Watch Mahomes, he's going to get pressure like we just talked about. He doesn't have the same pockets before. He drifts back a ton. He has to throw that before he's ready. In this one, this will live on the test of time forever against Brady in this situation. Let's watch. You see Barrett just fighting. A lot of that's because the other side, too, though. I mean, Pierre Paul's dominating.
Wait a minute, you mean to tell me the great Patrick Mahomes can't get anything done if the offensive line isn't protecting him? Whether it's inside or outside rushers, they can't protect him, right? See, remember, this is the Super Bowl where they say his whole offensive line was hurt and so on and so forth, which means he probably needed better depth then, didn't he? Sounds like the offensive line is pretty important if the great Patrick Mahomes, three-time Super Bowl winner, could not get it done with a less than adequate offensive
the other
line.
side right
Well,
there.
let's finish watching
See
these
that?
clips.
Mahomes has nowhere to go. As he completed a pass on 3rd down tonight. Can he quit this time? Reverse his course. He's all the way back at the 30. Barrett is on him.
Now, who does he look like when he's doing all that running around? Huh? Who does he look like doing all that running around, evading the rush, going back, going forward, going to side, and then throwing it? He looks like Lamar Jackson, doesn't he? That's the very reason why Lamar Jackson does what he does. Lamar Jackson don't want to drop back and run around 50 yards before he releases the ball. Every quarterback would like to have a clean pocket. Every quarterback would like to just drop back, survey the field, throw it. And if they have to evade the rush, then do it. But this is what you're seeing when the offensive line is not adequate.
And Pringle has it in his hands. They rule it incomplete. Mahomes, he's trying to will his team give it a chance with all the movement. What a throw. That's a little bit risky, to say the least. He kept trying to buy the time, and it's so hard to get this guy down. Well, it's 4th down, and of course they have to go for it at this stage. 4th and 9. Again, running for his life.
Wait a minute. Is he running for his life? There's no way. There's no way. The Chiefs, the champs, got their quarterback running for their life? Oh, so offensive line is important.
Got it away. Incomplete. He was parallel to the ground when he threw it.
Now, see how they highlighted he was parallel to the ground? That's a one-off play. That means only a few people can do that kind of play. He, Lamar Jackson, maybe Josh Allen, and maybe Jayden Daniels with that kind of athleticism and ability to do that. But see, that's what the Ravens have fallen in love with: being able to do the impossible, being able to do those one-of-one type plays where only one player can do that, and that's Lamar Jackson. So he offsets a less than stellar, and you know what? Let's just call it what it is. He offsets with his talent, his mobility, his elusiveness, a less than adequate offensive line. That's the truth. And so we celebrate those things. See how they talked about how Patrick Mahomes was parallel to the ground and how he still got the ball off? Well, I wonder if Patrick Mahomes, even if the dude had caught that ball, I wonder if he would have rather had adequate offensive line blocking so he didn't have to do all that running around and throw the ball parallel to the ground. I bet he would.
Oh, they've got him again. Now Mahomes just trying to find somebody, has to eat it and just take the sack. There's 5 minutes remaining. Ball is out, recovered by Kansas City.
Did that this year.
Pause. Do you see how important? Appreciate you, Eva Smarty. Appreciate you for checking in. Definitely for being in here. But you see how important. All see, listen. I just showed you the great Tom Brady, a 7-time Super Bowl winner, get knocked off by the New York Giants. Why? Inadequate offensive line. Showed him again in a Super Bowl, not in regular season game, but in a Super Bowl. Get knocked off again. Why? Because the offensive line was unable to do their job in the clutch. I just showed the great Patrick Mahomes, a 3-time Super Bowl winner. Did you hear what I said? Between these two quarterbacks that I'm showing you, the greatest of all time, and who many believe could challenge Tom Brady for being the greatest of all time, we have a collective of 10 Super Bowls. And no matter how great they've been, they could not overcome bad offensive line play. But guess what? We're not done because this Super Bowl 59 was fresh on our memory. This Super Bowl 59 made all 31 other teams go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? We need to build a defensive line like the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to challenge that. What if you build an offensive line like the Philadelphia Eagles? Because they have the best of both. Just a thought. Let's check these clips out.
9, 4-man rush. Mahomes, pressure, steps away, running around, way back there, throws as he gets hit. It's up there, and it is nearly intercepted, and it's incomplete.
The only way for them to affect Patrick is to get immediate pressure. And the one thing the Chiefs don't do a great job of offensively is their offensive line holding up for long periods of time.
No way. No way they let immediate pressure come on Patrick Mahomes. Well, they do if you can't block them. You see, I know Joe Tooney had to move out to left tackle. That's not his natural position. He's an interior offensive lineman, a Pro Bowl level interior offensive lineman. But when you don't have adequate depth,
gets an
these are your results.
Overhaul for the Eagles, and so far looking good in the first half of this game. Here's Mahomes, pressure right away. Mahomes is sacked. Josh Sweat gets home. 2nd and 14, 4-man rush. Mahomes pressured again, sacked again.
Wait a minute, was that a replay? No, it wasn't a replay. It was another play, another sack, very similar to the one right before it. This was the kind of game that we saw. This is why it was so impressive. But it was so demoralizing if this is what your offensive line looks like. It's demoralizing if your offensive line can't hold up. See, any offensive line should be able to hold up for 1, 2, 3 seconds. But this offensive line is getting smashed up on every single play. People have always said, if you want to disrupt, want to defeat a great quarterback, you got to be able to get to him. The only way you can prevent a defense to get to him is to be able to block. This is the point I've been making about the Baltimore Ravens. See, we're always talking defense. All of this mock draft season, edge, corner, safety, edge, corner, safety. I've heard guys say, well, no, I wouldn't take no interior offensive lineman in the first round. Well, why not? Why not? When the highest paid player on your team is also the best player in the league right now, why wouldn't you do what's necessary to protect him? Makes no sense to me. But we're gonna go deeper once I get off this.
3rd and 16,
these clips.
Rolling out, looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean, gets a block. DeJean is.
Now, why did that pick happen? Because of the pressure. That's why. That's why that pick happened. Pick 6 happened in Super Bowl under pressure. But we ain't done. We ain't done.
Guys, you can see the break. And this young stud, Cooper DeJean, another rookie making a huge impact.
Now see how they respond. Brandon Graham in for the first time for the Eagles. They get it inside, and that play gets stuffed. Goes backward. On 3rd and 9, 4-man rush. Pressure again. Mahomes in trouble. Mahomes sacked again. Here's Mahomes. Four-man rush over the middle. It's intercepted again. This time it's Zach Ball, and the Eagles are set up inside the 10.
You can maybe gain an extra possession or two in the game.
Holmes looking around, pressured again. Holmes dropped again. Fourth sack of the game for Philadelphia. It's Jordan Davis that time.
Pitching the shutout so far.
Holmes pressured again. Sack number 5. Holmes, far side of the field. It is knocked away. Avonte Maddox, and the Eagles take over. We'll never buy another two-stake again, I promise you that. So here's Mahomes. What's he got left? Pressure again. Oh. Dax, ball is out.
Listen, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable for a team to give up 6 sacks in a Super Bowl. Right. And so, but that's what it looks like, man, when you cannot block. That's what it looks like when your left tackle is trash. So you have to move your interior offensive lineman outside and put a replacement in and all that kind of stuff. All things we've experienced in Baltimore. And even when we rolled into the playoffs this past season and we were pretty healthy, we didn't play well in that first half. Derrick Henry in the Buffalo game, he didn't get going in that first half. Why? Offensive line was getting pushed around. It's true. You even saw the one play where Tyler Linderbaum gets pushed back and Lamar Jackson trips over him. You see, what I'm saying is when you don't have an adequate offensive line, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. We just saw Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes get smashed up in Super Bowls where they were expected to win because the offensive line couldn't block. But I want to show you something. And then I want to tell you something. Let me see. Give me 1 minute. Let me see if I can get this pulled up in 1 minute, and I want to show you one more thing. Come on, let me hurry up. Let me see. Let me do add. Give me 1 second, guys. Trying to get this video uploaded for you guys. If I don't have too many videos in the row, it may let me add it. I may have too many already. But come on, Belanger, hurry up. Do this. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me see if it'll let me. Let me see if it'll let me upload it. But the reason why I'm making this point is because I really think we have to be able to shift our focus and be able to uh, just think different about what we have going on in Baltimore, because we really hadn't built no offensive line to protect Lamar Jackson. We hadn't really built no offensive line to be successful. We haven't. We haven't. I just gave you 10, 11, 17. I just gave you 21 sacks in a Super Bowl over those 4 games as enough evidence that we should rethink how we draft this year. You see, the interesting thing, and I'm coming back to you guys. Almost got it uploaded. The interesting thing is how EDC said last year that was a historical, or could be a historical, offensive line class. And then he only drafted 1 offensive line in the first 3 rounds, and only 2 the whole entire draft. See, that was the same EDC who said last year that next year's offensive line will be better than this year's offensive line. Well, excuse me, last year's offensive line will be better this year. Excuse me, I said it incorrect. Now, does that make sense to you guys? Because it don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to be talking about next year's offensive line when we got to play a season this year. Come on, computer, hurry up and load. Please hurry up. I gotta get to people this next clip. Hopefully it's the right clip, in fact. See, it's processing. Let me go ahead and pull it. Hopefully it'll just start playing. It's loading up right now, guys. I want to show you something else, to kind of validate more of the point that maybe we need to change course with what we choose to do in in this draft. You see, because for whatever the reason, when we show up in the playoffs, there's times where our offensive line does not, where our offensive line refuses to do their job consistently. And refuse may be the wrong word, but it's the word I'm using today. Because when you need your offensive line to show up and do its thing, you know, it hasn't. We needed the offensive line to show up in the Buffalo game and do what they were supposed to do: block, open holes, so that Derrick Henry could get going. Right? I know we balled out in the second half as a whole team, but we needed the first half too. Gosh, I hope this thing loads. I want to show you this because I know Lamar Jackson took a lot of heat for something, and I want to show you again. What I pulling up this video is not me saying that he's not responsible. I just want to make sure that we have clear understanding of what actually went down. And so, give me 1 second. Let me see. Did it load finally? Come on. Come on, man. Is this it? Did it
Got a
load?
first down.
This kid's good. I mean,
He really is.
throwing this year.
1 of 7 on third down. This is only 3rd and 1 as he's dancing around. Looks up, and he gets taken down for a sack by Wharton.
It's 4-down territory. You run on that last game. You got to snap this.
They do. They are going for it. 4th and 3. They convert. Woo! And Beckham's the one.
All right. Wrong clip, wrong game. But I wanted to show you the Buffalo game. I'll show it to you in another video. Nevertheless, on that, if you guys all remember the first half in Buffalo, and you remember when Lamar Jackson throws the interception, if you go back and watch that particular clip, what you will see is that there was, by the time he hit his back foot to throw, to set up for the throw, there was pressure coming from his throwing side, which means he could not get all the way into the throw. That's why the ball seemed to hang up in the air, and it landed in I believe it was Rap's hands. Safety. I can't remember his first name. Nevertheless, see, but see, all we know is interception. But what I'm saying is, and listen, I understand. We don't want interceptions. I understand Lamar Jackson's the quarterback. I'm not even making an excuse. I'm actually pointing out offensive line play, because it was, excuse me, it was the pressure coming from the defender that caused the inaccurate throw and caused the ball to hang up in the air longer than it should have. All I'm saying is that we have not done an adequate job building an offensive line. Let me prove it to you. 2020 first round pick Patrick Queen. 2021 first round pick Rashad Bateman, Odafe Owe. 2022 first round pick Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Lindenbaum. Okay, check mark for the Tyler Lindenbaum. 2023 Zay. 2024 Nate Wiggins. 2025 everybody's talking about another defender. Well, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of 7 potential first round picks, you have no left tackles, no right tackles, no left guards, no right guards. 2020, I do not remember who the second round pick was, but I know that it was not a left tackle, left guard, right tackle, right guard. I know for sure it wasn't. 2021, uh, I'm pretty sure it was a defender. Right? The right guard that, excuse me, the right tackle that we did draft, or Orlando Brown, became a Pro Bowler and we let him walk. Right? Right? We didn't draft Orlando Brown to become a Pro Bowler. His skill set demanded that he became a Pro Bowler, but we didn't value it, so we let him walk. Actually, we didn't let him walk. We traded him to the Kansas City Chiefs. Right? But when you keep coming forward, just second round picks, David Ajabo, You have no pick in 2023 because of the Roquan Smith trade. I may have the year wrong. Um, you have no, that's the Tavius. Yeah, that's 2023. It was Zay, and then it was Trent Simpson in third round. We had no second round pick, and then you had Tavius Robinson in the fourth round. No second round pick there either. And then and then Roger Rosengarten. Uh, so you're looking at the potential of about 12 picks, and you have only one guard or tackle in 5 drafts. Now you tell me that sounds like you've been trying to build an adequate offensive line. Listen to the offensive line we've drafted. Ben Cleveland, third round. What has he done? Hmm? Salah, 2 seasons ago. What has he done? Fourth round. Matter of fact, we don't even have any other third round picks because I think Ben Powell's was a third or fourth round pick in 2020. But you see, when he got good, they let him walk too. Think about what I'm saying. We don't have any evidence that the Baltimore Ravens have ever really tried to build an adequate offensive line. That's because Action Jackson has been there to save the day and make the offensive line look better than it has really been. Daniel Falele, fourth round pick, starting right guard. And I guess Voorhees, sixth round pick, I think he was, potentially starting left guard in 2025. Now you tell me that we've been doing real work. Doesn't sound like it, does it? And we just seen plenty of evidence that no matter how great your quarterback is, no matter how great he is, he cannot overcome a poor offensive line. Think about it. In that first Super Bowl, Tom Brady was playing with Randy Moss. You don't get better than Randy Moss at wide receiver. Couldn't get past a bad offensive line play. There's numerous other situations. I'll point to another couple here in a second. When you go to that second Super Bowl, they had harassed Tom Brady most of the day, but they just didn't take him down to when it counted in the clutch. When Patrick Mahomes played Tampa Bay, 5 sacks. Then when he played the Eagles, we all know what that was, 6 sacks. No matter how great they are, no matter how great Lamar Jackson is, he will not be able to overcome bad offensive line play. He won't. He'll get the blame for bad offensive line play, especially when we don't win. And I'm just simply saying that's the change we need to make. We need to rethink this thing about let's go edge, let's go corner, let's go say in the first couple of rounds. Yeah, I understand we got some depth issues in some places, but we got talent issues along the offensive line. The key component to protecting your most important player. We've all seen what it looks like when Lamar Jackson is not available for the Baltimore Ravens. It seems like that will become a priority. And it's crazy because the fan base has just gotten on board with this thinking that, hey, let's just get some more defenders. Listen, we've spent more draft capital and trade money and free agents, and contract money on defense over the last 5 years, probably 3 times as much. And it hasn't gotten it done yet. And so I'm saying maybe you need to invest into one of the most important position groups, and that's the offensive line. So listen, man, you guys let me know what you want me to know, man. That's what I got for you guys today. Won't be live in the morning like I normally am on Saturday mornings. I'm gonna be on the road, traveling to Boone up near App State. Got some things to go do up that way, and hopefully I'll get back because the follow-up video to this one is going to be my mock draft. I'm gonna do probably a 4 round mock draft, no trades. And then I'm going to mock the entire AFC North first 3 rounds. And I'm gonna do each team justice. I'm not gonna be just a homer and just give the Ravens good players and trick off the Browns, the Steelers, and the Bengals. Man, listen, the competition is rising in the AFC North. There's a lot of rumors floating around about Cleveland being willing to go after Travis Hunter, which I'm not really scared of Travis Hunter at all, but going out after Travis Hunter and then turn around and going to get Jalen Milroe. The reason why the potential to get Milroe is a scary thing is because we have consistently had trouble with mobile quarterbacks. You're not going to get more mobile in this draft than Milroe. He supposedly runs a 4.340. That's elite level speed. I don't even care if that's Lamar Jackson speed, faster than Lamar, slower than Lamar. That's an irrelevant conversation. That's a dumb conversation to have because why does it matter if he's faster than Lamar Jackson? I mean, Lamar Jackson is great, whether he's faster than Milroe or not. So it's just it's a really a pointless argument. But I think that creates a scary potential for the Cleveland Browns. But I really believe if I'm the Browns, I go in a different direction. But I'll share that with you guys in the live. So listen, man, I appreciate you guys for tapping in, man. Whether you watch this live or in the record, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you never subscribed, man. And we'll be back maybe tomorrow night, but definitely if not tomorrow on Sunday night. I'm your guy Boulanger, and we're out.